Good evening and welcome to a special severe edition of the FSU Weather Show. It's Tuesday night, November 26th. Let's jump right into it right now. We have rain moving through the area. Almost all of the severe weather has moved through the area. Just a few residual showers from Tallahassee and St. Marks and points west. Where the severe weather threat is still in play is across the eastern parts of our area from Monticello down into Perry and Taylor County. And this line goes all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico, a couple hundred miles. The current outlook for the warnings and watches. I'm going to talk about this red box first. This is the tornado watch box that's in effect until 10 o'clock tonight, and this goes all the way from I-75 from Thomasville and Valdosta down all the way down into Tampa Bay, all the way down to Sarasota and Polk counties, and this is going to be continuing again until 10 o'clock tonight. And this blue watch is the freeze watch, not in effect for tonight, but in effect for tomorrow night. And these temperatures around the area are looking a little bit warmer than they were a couple hours ago for Central and South Florida. There is a little bit of sunshine for them, but look back towards the west. That's where the cooler air is coming on in, and it's going to be coming in quite fast over the next few hours. Today we've made it up to 75 degrees, which is right around average for this time of year. What wasn't right around average was the rainfall, and we nearly tripled our record rainfall from 1986 earlier today, and it's still raining at the Tallahassee airport, 73 degrees with a light rain, and that dew point very muggy at 70 degrees. That's more typical of July or August for this time of year. Northwest winds, it's been breezy all day. South-southwest winds at 16 miles an hour, gusts to 26 miles an hour, so that's enough to blow your hair around, enough to get your hair wet as well. There's rain still rolling through Tallahassee much later than it was today, and it'll be enough to get those gullyways out of the flooding stages there. Even Ocala was a little bit on the wet side for today with some flooding rains. Lightning strikes clear across most of the area now, but there was plenty of lightning strikes earlier today. Most of the lightning strikes are pushing out of Lowndes County now to the north of Valdosta. Those lightning strikes stretched nearly 400 miles earlier today. Temperatures around the region, 69 in St. Marks, 73 in Tallahassee, still quite warm across the area. If you look off towards the northwest, 66 in Mariana. Those greens are 50s, and beyond that up into Alabama, it's really going to cool down over the next few hours and into tonight. 70 degrees is the dew point right now, and this is going to really fall. The moisture in the area is really going to escape down towards the south, and it's going to be actually pushed over the next 6 to 12 hours by that front as it pushes down towards the south. Dew points are going to be halved from what they are today into tomorrow. Temperatures are going to fall down into the 30s for the dew point temperatures. Winds from the south right now 9 miles an hour in St. Marks, 16 in Tallahassee, and these winds are going to switch from out of the south to out of the northwest into tomorrow, which is really going to bring those temperatures down for tomorrow night. 26-degree gusts in Tallahassee right now, 20 in St. Marks, and these gusts are going to come down just a little bit. They're not going to come down a whole lot. And that's because the clouds are going to stay with us, and also that cooler air is going to start to try to work on into the area. For tonight's forecast, we're looking at 47 degrees with decreasing chances of rain, 60% for the next few hours, and then as we head into the early morning hours, that rain chance really falls off. As we head into the early morning hours and towards sunrise, that rain chance actually falls down to close to 0, and that's where it's going to stay for a couple of days. Get to that in a little bit. Scattered showers for tonight with west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. For tomorrow, we're looking at 52. It's going to be very, very cool for tomorrow. It's going to be well below average, about 20 degrees below average for the highs, with decreasing clouds by the early morning hours tomorrow. For your next 7 days, we're looking like this. 52, as I said, for Wednesday, and again, lower chances of rain heading into the early morning or the early afternoon. Your Thanksgiving forecast is looking fantastic, although a bit cool. 55 degrees with a very cool morning low of 29 degrees. And our models are trying to take it about 5 degrees cooler than that, however. And I think the winds are going to keep those temperatures up on Thursday morning. Another freeze possible on Friday morning. Those freeze watches are in effect for the entire area for both Thursday and probably going to be issued again on Friday morning as well. Saturday and Sunday warming back up into the 60s. Here's that tornado watch. It's a stretch from the Florida-Georgia border all the way down into west central Florida from Tampa and St. Pete and Sarasota, and also in effect for Lakeland as well. And a new tornado watch in effect for the Carolina and Georgia coasts there until 1 a.m. everything in blue, that's that freeze watch I mentioned. And some of these blues are actually going to be converted into hard freeze watches for tomorrow. And that means temperatures are going to fall below 27 degrees for likely our Georgia counties and up into Alabama as well. Find the front on this map. Right in there in between Tallahassee and Panama City. 53 degrees is the current temperature in Pensacola, 72 in Tallahassee. Temperatures are still in the upper 70s in most of South Florida, 79 in Miami, in West Palm Beach, and in Fort Myers. 80 degrees still hanging on in Key West. A lot of these temperatures are going to be crashing during the overnight hours because of the rainfall that will be happening. This is the dew point. This really hasn't changed a whole lot over the last 12 hours, except it's gone up a little bit. The change is really coming in Pensacola, 49, and up beyond that, 30s. We're going to go from being soaked head to toe to needing a little bit of chapstick as we head into Thanksgiving and into Friday as well. We're going to see those winds also change. You can see the change there in Pensacola out of the northwest. That's going to bring in cool Arctic air from Canada. Southerly winds still persistent across most of Florida, 15 miles an hour in Tampa, 10 miles an hour in Fort Myers. That's bringing in the warmer air for the time being. The change is this. That line right there, just east of the Tallahassee area, crossing the Big Bend in Appalachia Bay, this is all going to move into west central Florida, and it'll cross the I-4 corridor, crossing the I-75 from north to south as well. Over the next 6 to 12 hours, rumble of thunder is probable from the I-75 corridor and points east. Here's your local radar. Here's your I-75 corridor from Valdosta. You're starting to pick up rain in Valdosta, starting to work into Live Oak and down into Gainesville, and starting to work into Ocala as well. It's going to be a wet drive home if you're heading home for Thanksgiving. If you're heading north, I-95 not looking a whole lot much better as you head up towards Georgia and the Carolinas. This is where our next severe threat is going to come in, across west central Florida from Citrus County down into Sarasota County with the tornado watch there. You see a lot of these cells there are farther apart from the rest of the rainfall there. You're going to see some of those possibly becoming tornadoes. Still clear across the east coast of Florida. That'll change during the overnight hours. South Florida, still dry, but there's plenty of rainfall to work in there. Just about everyone will become a little bit wetter by the early evening into the morning hours. Tonight's forecast, 47 in Tallahassee, again 69 in Fort Myers, still in the 70s for South Florida. That won't be happening as we head into tomorrow night. For tomorrow, we're looking at 52 degrees, still cool. Across I-10, still in the 50s. Those 80s still hold on to the urban areas of South Florida, 70s for the rest of us. Around the nation, you thought the severe weather was a little bit hard to travel in. It's becoming a mess from Alabama up into the Midwest. Detroit having snow. They had a couple of flakes flying in around Houston today. Believe that or not, there's plenty of snowflakes to fly around, and you can see why. This is a giant bowl of dry, cool air that's coming in from Canada and coming down the Rockies, and it'll be pumping its cool air all the way through the southeast, and we'll see that into tomorrow. At the peak of that cool air, 19 degrees in Minneapolis. They only reached a high in the 20s this morning, or this afternoon, and this is that dry air that's also coming down, bone dry in Minnesota and into the Dakotas, and that's all going to push on down towards the south. Here's another look at that radar. There's that line that's going to push into central Florida, and it's really going to pump some drier air into tomorrow. Now here's where it gets interesting. If you're having a travel forecast, or if you're traveling to the northeast, everything in blue here is snow, and some of the snow could top a foot of snow from Erie, Pennsylvania up to Syracuse and Watertown, and this is all going to convert over to rain. So it's going to become very slushy across parts of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Maryland, where you can already see the pink there. That's a mix of sleet, freezing rain, and some rain there, converting over to rain. And this is all going to slowly slide off towards the north and east. So if you're heading to Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, New York City, you're going to want to call ahead with your flights. If you're heading off towards the west, it's pretty clear off towards the west. Great travel destination there. It's going to be dry, cool, and it's going to get even better for your Thanksgiving forecast. I mentioned that snow heading into Houston. No travel delays there, but we'll have to watch that over the next few days, over the next few hours rather. I'm going to scoot right by that radar. No travel delays across the western parts of the area. We had a couple delays in the Carolinas earlier today, with Charlotte calling a ground stop because of the higher winds there on the ground. If you're hoping for a white Thanksgiving, head to the Midwest or the Northeast, and you'll see a couple of inches before tonight, and even in tomorrow we're going to add a foot to that. Here's the model, how the model works out as the system moves on into the Northeast, mixing heading into Pennsylvania and New York before turning over into snow. If you watch the clock there behind me, Wednesday afternoon, lake effect snow machine turns on full force for the Appalachian Mountains and into the Catskills. The lake effect snow machine won't be coming anywhere near the southeast, so we're heading down to we're at 72 degrees here in Tallahassee. A couple of tornado watch boxes from the Big Bend down towards the south, and that stretches also up into coastal North Carolina there. You can see those winter weather advisories on the edge of the map there in the southern Appalachians. Much of the deep south is going to freeze as we head into tomorrow night. Tonight will be warmer. I say 47 here in Tallahassee. No airport delays except for a couple of delays there in the upstate of South Carolina because of the winds there. We're looking at a lot of heavy rain moving into Georgia and into central and south Florida. So if you're traveling by car or plane, you're going to want to keep that in mind. It's going to be a little bit harder to keep your car on the road, keep a sturdy handle on your steering wheel there. As this front pushes on from west to east, we'll have that clearing out by Wednesday morning into the afternoon hours. But look at that, we're going to have snow all the way down almost to Atlanta. I'm not sure we're going to get quite all the way down into Atlanta, but we're going to get pretty close. And the ski resorts up in North Carolina and Tennessee are going to get their snow forecast into tomorrow. And for tonight's forecast, 35 degrees in Montgomery. These are going to be about 10 degrees cooler as we head into tomorrow night. For tomorrow, we're looking at 52 degrees again here in Tallahassee, 70s down south. If you're heading up to the Memphis area, we're looking right around 35 degrees, Tupelo 36, 45, and sun shining strong there in New Orleans. The last 24 hours have been a little bit of a roller coaster. It was cool this morning when the clouds were still there, and then the sun came out and we bumped right back up into the middle 70s. Today's almanac, we're looking at 75 degrees for a high, 59 for a low. That's actually going to be higher than our high tomorrow. Keep in mind, we're looking at 52 for a high for tomorrow. Current conditions, 72 degrees with light rain at the airport with southwest winds at 10 miles an hour. This is where the real difference is made. We're starting to get into the dry season, although this really doesn't say so. 3.27 inches of rain. Actually, the airport is looking at 3.35 inches. That's more than triple of the record rainfall for the day, dating back to 1986. And even more rainfall down in Apalachicola, 3.64 inches down there on the coastline. Gusts around the area, still not really any sort of hindrance to those freezing temperatures as we head into tomorrow. It will be a little bit breezy, and temperatures will getting down to freezing or below freezing for most of the area with a 10-mile-an-hour wind during the overnight hours. One last look at your radar here. A couple of showers will be passing through the area in Leon County down to Wakulla County. These go back out into the Gulf, so not really any heavy rain or rumbles of thunder like we had earlier today, but what we will see is a couple of spotty showers, light rain passing through the area until right around midnight. Here's another look at those temperatures. 72 degrees in Tallahassee. These will be about 20 to 30 degrees cooler this time tomorrow. So keep that in mind. You're going to want to pull out the winter jacket as we head into Wednesday and Thursday mornings, because it will be freezing here for most of us. And it could be a hard freeze from I-10 towards the north if the winds come down more than currently forecast. 47 degrees here in Tallahassee for tonight. With overcast skies, those rain chances will be plummeting after midnight with a west-northwest wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour, right around 50 degrees right along the coast. Our friends over in Perry looking at 50 degrees, and it's going to be a little bit rainy there, a little bit longer, so it'll probably be a little bit warmer as well. Tomorrow's forecast, we're looking at 52 for a high temperature tomorrow in Tallahassee. That's 20 degrees cooler than average for this time of year. 56 degrees in St. Mark's. The sun will be coming out as we head into tomorrow. Here's your 7-day forecast, 52 degrees. Thanksgiving forecast is looking fantastic, although a bit cool. 55 degrees with a low on Thursday morning of 29 degrees. Slow warm up Saturday into Sunday. We're looking into the mid to upper 60s, and then we'll get back to the 70-degree mark early next week. We are looking at low rain chances into the early parts of next week, but sun until then. I'm meteorologist Jonathan Bells. Good night.